I invite you to connect with the voices of the Bible as we listen to God's word from 1 Samuel chapter 3. What does it mean to hear God's voice? Not a booming sound from heaven or a burning bush experience, but that quiet sense of calling that tugs at your heart. Today we explore one of Scripture's most intimate encounters between God and humanity, when a young boy named Samuel discovers that the creator of the universe knows his name. This isn't just a children's Sunday school story. It's a profound lesson about how God breaks through spiritual silence to call ordinary people into extraordinary purpose. Picture Israel around the year 1100 BCE. The glory days of Moses and Joshua have faded into memory. The nation exists in a spiritual twilight. No king rules, judges barely maintain order, and corruption has infected even the priesthood. At the religious center in Shiloh, an aging priest named Eli serves at the temple, but his own sons abuse their sacred positions, stealing offerings and exploiting worshipers. Now into this darkness, a woman named Hannah brings her young son Samuel. She had promised God that if blessed with a child, she would dedicate him to temple service. So Samuel, perhaps just weaned, begins living at Shiloh. By the time of our story, he's probably 12 years old, spending his nights on the temple floor near the Ark of the Covenant, that gold-covered chest representing God's presence among the people. Now, the opening verse captures the spiritual crisis. The Lord's word was rare at that time, and visions weren't widely known. Imagine the faithful coming to worship, longing for guidance, but hearing only silence from heaven. Our passage unfolds like a divine drama in 4 acts. First comes the unexpected interruption. As a temple lamp flickers in the darkness and Eli sleeps in his chamber, God calls out, "Samuel." The boy jumps up, assuming Eli needs him, and runs to help. "I'm here, you called me?" But Eli sends him back to bed. This happens again and again. 3 times God calls, 3 times Samuel responds to the wrong source. The text provides a crucial detail. Now Samuel didn't yet know the Lord, and the Lord's word hadn't yet been revealed to him. He serves in God's house, but doesn't recognize God's voice, a metaphor for Israel's spiritual condition. The turning point comes through human wisdom. Old Eli, despite his failures, possesses one crucial gift: spiritual discernment. He recognizes what's happening and coaches Samuel. "Go and lie down. If he calls you, say, 'Speak up, Lord. Your servant is listening.'" When God calls the 4th time, something shifts. The Lord doesn't just speak, but came and stood there. The divine presence intensifies. Samuel responds correctly, and God delivers a sobering message about judgment coming to Eli's family. The boy who came running eagerly 3 times now faces his first prophetic burden, delivering devastating news to his beloved mentor. Morning brings the test. Samuel opens the temple doors, going about normal duties, but carrying this terrible secret. When Eli insists on hearing everything, Samuel speaks truth despite his fear. Eli's response reveals deep faith. He is the Lord. He will do as he pleases. The passage concludes by fast-forwarding through Samuel's development. God stays close, ensuring none of Samuel's words fall to the ground unfulfilled. From Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south, all Israel recognizes Samuel as God's authentic prophet. The spiritual drought ends as the Lord continued to appear at Shiloh. This ancient narrative speaks powerfully to modern seekers. First, it validates our struggle to hear God. If Samuel, sleeping in the temple itself, needed 3 attempts plus human help to recognize God's voice, well, we shouldn't feel too discouraged when divine guidance seems unclear. God patiently persists, working through our confusion. Second, the story highlights the vital role of spiritual mentors. Eli's instruction transforms confusion into clarity. Who serves as your Eli, that experienced voice helping you interpret what God might be saying? Equally important, for whom are you serving as Eli, helping others recognize their calling? Third, notice that calling comes with cost. Samuel's first assignment wasn't easy, speaking hard truth to power, even beloved power. Following God's voice may lead to difficult conversations, unpopular stands, or sacrificial choices, yet God promises presence. The Lord was with him. Finally, the story reminds us that God often speaks through ordinary moments. No earthquake or fire, just a voice in the night, mistaken for human calling. Perhaps God speaks to us through persistent thoughts about serving others, restlessness about injustice, or joy when using certain gifts. The key is creating quiet spaces where we can listen, aided by wise guides who help us discern. Samuel's journey from confused boy to confident prophet offers hope for every spiritual seeker. In times when God's word seems rare, whether in ancient Israel or modern life, God still finds ways to break through. The same God who called Samuel, Samuel, knows your name and has purposes for your life. This week, practice Samuel's spiritual discipline. Find quiet moments to simply listen. When you sense a prompting towards service, justice, or love, pause and respond, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." Share your journey with a trusted mentor who can help you discern God's voice from life's many competing sounds. Remember, God's call rarely comes with perfect clarity. But as Samuel discovered, when we position ourselves to listen with patience, humility, and the help of others, we can learn to recognize when the Lord of the universe speaks our name.